Stop. Before you scroll, before you click away, before you do anything else right now, stay with me for the next few minutes. Because what I'm about to share with you could become one of the most important financial conversations of your entire life. And I am not exaggerating. In more than 20 years as a financial advisor and stock market expert, I have sat across the table from people who looked successful from the outside. Six-figure earners, business owners, people with luxury cars, beautiful homes, impressive careers, and lifestyles that made everyone around them think they had one. And then I watched them fall apart. Not because of bad luck, not because of some unavoidable tragedy, but because of signs. Quiet signs. Sneaky signs. Almost invisible signs that appeared years before the collapse ever happened. Signs they ignored. Or worse, signs they never even knew existed. Today, I'm going to walk you through 7 of those signs. And I need you to be brutally honest with yourself as we go through them, because the truth you face today could be the difference between financial freedom and waking up 10 years from now wondering how everything went so wrong. And before we dive in, if you're new here and you care about your financial future, subscribe right now. Because every single week, I bring you the kind of raw, unfiltered financial truth the banks, lenders, and credit card companies do not want you to hear. Nah. Let's begin. Sign number 1. You are living a life you cannot actually afford. Let me say something that might sting. The most dangerous financial trap in the modern world does not look dangerous at all. It looks successful. It looks like the nice car, the beautiful apartment, the designer clothes, the vacations on social media, the dinners at the right restaurants. From the outside, everything looks perfect. But underneath that image, underneath the carefully curated appearance of prosperity, there is debt. Credit card balances that never seem to shrink. Car payments on vehicles losing value every day. Personal loans stacked on top of other loans. Buy now, pay later payments quietly multiplying in the background. This is what I call performative wealth. Looking rich while becoming financially fragile. And I have watched it destroy people. Because debt is not just a number on a screen. Debt is a thief. It steals your income before you even touch it. It steals your options, your flexibility, your peace of mind. It steals your ability to leave a toxic job, to survive an emergency, to breathe. And the cruelest part, every time you spend money you don't have, you are making a promise your future self will have to repay with interest. Your future self will work harder, sacrifice more, and live with fewer choices because of comforts you chose today. So ask yourself this honestly. If your income disappeared tomorrow, how long could you survive before things started falling apart? Days? Weeks? A month? If that question made you uncomfortable, good. Because discomfort is where awareness begins. Sign number 2. You have no financial plan, and you've stopped caring. Imagine getting into your car, starting the engine, and driving with absolutely no destination. No map. No direction. No plan. Just movement. Hours pass. Fuel disappears. Energy drains. And somehow, despite all that motion, you end up nowhere meaningful. That is exactly what life feels like without a financial plan. And after more than 2 decades in finance, I can tell you something terrifying. The biggest danger isn't people who don't have a plan. It's people who have become comfortable not having one. People who normalize the chaos. People who drift financially for years while telling themselves, I'll figure it out eventually. A budget is not punishment. Somewhere along the way, people were taught that budgeting means suffering, that tracking your money somehow limits your freedom. That is a lie. A budget is power. It is you deciding where your money goes instead of wondering where it went. Without a plan, your money will always disappear somewhere. It just won't disappear into your future. And I want you to think about this honestly. Do you currently have a written financial plan or budget? Not in your head. Not kind of. A real one. Because clarity changes everything. And trust me, by the time we get to signs 5 and 6, this conversation is going to get even deeper. Sign number 3. You are on the wrong side of compound interest. There is a force in finance so powerful that it has created more millionaires than high salaries, inheritances, or business success combined. Compound interest. Most people have heard the phrase. Very few people truly understand it. Because compound interest is either building your future or quietly destroying it. Here, what it looks like when it works for you. A 25-year-old investing a few $100s consistently every month into a diversified index fund can retire with over $1 million. Not because they were lucky. Not because they were a genius. Because time multiplied their consistency. But here's the darker side. That exact same force works against you when you carry high-interest debt. A credit card charging 20% interest doesn't stay still. It compounds. Every month you carry that balance, the bank's wealth grows while yours shrinks. And most people never realize they are trapped on the wrong side of the equation. They are paying compounding interest out, while earning none in return. That is how future wealth quietly disappears. And here's the truth nobody can escape. Time is not neutral. Every single day, time is either helping you build wealth or helping debt consume it. There is no middle ground. Sign number 4. You are one paycheck away from disaster. Close your eyes for a second and imagine this. It's a normal Tuesday morning. You wake up, make coffee, check your phone, and then you see it. An email. Your company is restructuring. Your role has been eliminated. Effective immediately. How fast does the panic hit? How many weeks before rent becomes a problem? Before groceries become stressful? Before everything that felt stable suddenly collapses? I've watched this happen more times than I can count. And the devastating part is usually not the job loss itself. Job loss is survivable. What destroys people is having nothing to fall back on. No emergency fund. No backup income. No financial cushion. Financially secure people understand something most people don't. Multiple income streams are not a luxury. They are protection. Investments. Side businesses. Freelance skills. Dividend income. Rental income. Digital products. These things aren't greed. They're stability. Because no single employer should control your entire financial survival. And you need to ask yourself honestly, if one paycheck disappeared tomorrow, what would happen to your life? Sign number 5. You think financial education is for other people. This one is personal for me. Because I've seen this destroy more potential than almost anything else. Millions of people believe financial knowledge belongs to someone else. The Wall Street people. The math geniuses. The experts. So they disengage completely. They tell themselves, money is complicated. Investing isn't for people like me. I'll just work hard and hope things work out. And the financial industry loves that mindset. Because financial ignorance creates vulnerability. It's why people sign loan agreements they don't understand. Why they fall for scams. Why they trust random financial advice from social media. Why they make retirement decisions based on emotion instead of knowledge. The people who survive financially long-term are not always the smartest people in the room. They are the people willing to learn. They read books. They study. They ask questions. They refuse to stay confused. Because in a world that profits from your financial confusion, knowledge becomes protection. And the information has never been more accessible than it is right now. Books, podcasts, channels like this one. The tools are everywhere. The question is whether you are willing to use them. Sign number 6. Your emotions are spending your money. Now we get to the deepest sign of all. The one most financial conversations never touch. Emotional spending. And I believe this destroys more financial futures than low income, bad investments, or market crashes ever could. Because emotional spending is not about math. It's about pain. It's the online shopping after a terrible day. The impulsive purchase that gives you 10 minutes of relief. The dinner, the outfit, the package arriving at your door that briefly makes life feel lighter. And then the feeling fades. But the debt stays. I've worked with highly educated, successful people drowning in consumer debt they couldn't explain. And when we dug deep enough, the problem was never really money. It was grief, loneliness, stress, childhood trauma, the pressure to appear successful, the need to feel worthy. Money problems are often emotional problems wearing financial clothing. And until you understand the emotional engine behind your spending, no budget will fully save you. Because the leak will always find another exit. So here's the uncomfortable question. What emotion most often triggers your worst financial decisions? Stress, sadness, loneliness, boredom, the need to impress people. That answer may be worth more than any investment advice you'll ever hear. Sign number 7. You keep waiting for the perfect time to start. And here we are. The final sign. The most heartbreaking one of all. Because this sign sounds responsible, logical, reasonable, but it quietly destroys financial futures every single day. Procrastination. Not obvious laziness. Sophisticated procrastination. The kind that says, I'll start saving once this debt is gone. I'll invest after I get a raise. I'll get serious about money when life calms down. But life never fully calms down. The raise comes. And lifestyle inflation eats it. The debt disappears. And new debt replaces it. And the years move faster than anyone realizes. Suddenly, 10 years are gone. And the future you thought was distant is standing in front of you asking, so where's the plan? The mathematics of wealth building are unforgiving. A person who starts investing at 30 has an enormous advantage over someone who starts at 40, even if the 40-year-old earns more money. Because time matters more than intensity. Every year you wait doesn't just cost you growth. It costs you compounded growth. And compounded loss becomes enormous. The most expensive financial decision you can make is waiting until you feel ready. Because readiness is not something you discover. It's something you choose. This is your moment of truth. After 20 years in finance, I can tell you something with absolute certainty. I have seen people with almost nothing build incredible wealth. And I have seen people with every advantage imaginable lose everything. The difference was rarely income, rarely luck, rarely intelligence. It was decisions. The 7 signs we talked about today are not destiny. They are patterns. Patterns that can be recognized. Patterns that can be interrupted. Patterns that can be changed. But only if you are willing to confront them honestly. Because the person you become 10 years from now is being shaped right now, through the small, daily decisions most people barely notice. And that future version of you does not need perfection. They just need you to begin. One honest decision. One uncomfortable truth. One step in the right direction. That's all. You have that power today. Use it. And if this video spoke to something real inside you, subscribe right now. Share this with someone you love. Someone whose future matters to you. Because financial ruin is quiet. It's patient. And most people don't realize it's happening until it's too late. And before you go, I want you to answer one final question. Out of these 7 signs, which one are you going to fix starting today? Not next week. Not next month. Today. Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. Because your financial future is not just a number. It is your life. And it deserves to be protected. The clock is already running. The only question is, what are you going to do now?